Oh, I am Father Anthony Hannon, and this is To Prepare His Way. And I'm live in Ottawa today. It's the afternoon. It is about, I'm going to ask to find out what time it is. Excuse me, sir. Can you tell me what time it is?
It is 2:05 p.m.
2:05 p.m.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That's going to be very useful for me as I walk in Ottawa. And so 2 o'clock. And today in Ottawa on Parliament Hill, there is the Million March for Children from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, they had speeches earlier in the morning, and they marched to the streets of Ottawa around 12:30, something like that, I think. And if you want to see the speeches or watch that march, you can go to a YouTube channel called Canadian Free Living, and you can see that. I've got my heavy, rugged camera with me, which means I've got the shorter selfie stick, so I'll try to keep my arm extended so you're not right up into my face. But yeah, you can see everything there. There's probably other live streamers that have recorded the Million March for Life in Ottawa and across the country. Today, this is the second annual one. Last year, on September the 20th, there was the first one, and it was very well attended. And they expected, or they were hoping for a larger crowd this year. From what I could see on the live stream, it was not larger, but a smaller crowd. And well, let's see some beauty here instead of looking at my face. I think this is a new fountain here in Confederation Park. Well, no, it can't be new. I just don't remember seeing it. Anyway, Confederation Park. So I don't think it is as well attended. Of course, many of you know that the Million March for Children is to protest and raise awareness of the woke indoctrination that's going on in the government-run schools, both Catholic and public, here in Ontario and across the country, and also in both French and English schools. And it's terrible what they're doing in these schools, undermining parental rights and really promoting very perverted things in the schools. Now, the thing is, that, in my opinion, protests like these, are not going to change the schools. They're not going to change the schools. The only way to stop this perverse indoctrination in the schools is for parents to stop sending their children to these schools, making whatever sacrifices is necessary to do that. Because they're simply not going to stop with the schools are not, and the government is not going to stop with their ideological agendas, which is to destroy our society. So maybe individuals have good intentions and they're just useful idiots, as Karl Marx would say. but they're not going to change. Now, if people stop sending their kids to those schools, they pulled them out, homeschooled them, kept them at home. Kids will learn more at home than they do in school anyway. But what happens is every student that is enrolled in the schools receives, or every student is enrolled in a school, in a school board. The school board gets, I believe the number is $12,000 per student. So if the kids don't go, they're going to have to lay off teachers. And then they're going to have to ask themselves, maybe we should do what the parents want, find out what the parents want instead of replacing the parents. So that's the only way it's going to change. But these demonstrations, I think they end up being, support networks for like-minded people. And they might raise awareness to the odd person who maybe has children in the school system that is not aware of what's going on. Maybe some of those speakers that you can watch a Canadian Free Living later after this live stream. Maybe some of those speakers shared their personal experience. Over the past several years, I've certainly had parents reach out to me because of their direct family situation where one of their sons or daughters became confused. Well, we would say confused, but they would say that they're not confused, but they were subjected to this indoctrination in the schools and in our larger society. And then it's caused division in the family. And especially now, when Children's Aid Society can be called, and then the children even taken out of the home if the parents don't agree with the transitioning. So it's a terrible situation. But the best thing is, if you have anyone has children, is don't send them to the indoctrination camps, the government indoctrination camps. It's a parent's responsibility to educate their children. It's their right, and it's their duty. This is what the church calls the primary educators of children are the parents. Or sometimes we call first educators, but it means primary. And teachers, tutors, whatever, they are, if a parent understands this correctly, they are to assist the parents in the education of their children. They're not to replace or to co-parent, as some in the school system like to say. So that's one of the reasons I wasn't too eager to get down to Parliament Hill to be kind of a participant in the march. But I do like to come down knowing that there'll be some people there. They'll be happy to see a priest there. And I've been at similar rallies, demonstrations for this topic, and there have been a few other priests. So I also don't feel that burden that I need to rush down here with an almost 2-hour drive to be the sole representation of the Catholic clergy. I do not know if there's any bishops across Canada at any of these rallies, because it's not just in Ottawa today, but all across the country. I would certainly hope so. But as I've explained before, the men who are chosen to be bishops are chosen because they're responsible men, but they don't swim against the stream. Okay, they're not. They see themselves as peacemakers, and they don't want to cause any trouble. So, and they've got a lot on their plate anyway. Not that this isn't an important issue, like the freedom rallies, like during all the lockdowns. It would have been the bishop's rightful place to be the lead opposition to the government's lies and to protect the people, but they weren't, right? But they weren't, and it's to me, their state, being bishops, would have given them that right, and they would have gained a lot of credibility and I believe many converts to the faith for taking that leadership. But most of them bought the narrative. I don't think they're buying the narrative. I don't think the bishops in Canada in general would be in support of the indoctrination that's going on in the schools, but they have a different approach. And to the schools, they think that as long as we have the government-run Catholic schools, we have access and an opportunity to bring the gospel. But the reality is there's an alternative gospel, at least in the Ontario Catholic schools, that has been promoted for several decades with the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association. That's the one that I'm somewhat familiar with, going back to a notorious leader of that union named Joanna Manning. And they've been presented with in all the schools for decades now a false gospel. So they've been kind of inoculated against the true faith. But anyway, that's just the way I see it. And I'm not the leader. I'm not a bishop. I'm just a priest with his own opinions and his own experience, of course. But pray for the bishops and pray for all the priests, because, like I say, from day one we go into the seminary and we're trained to be followers, not leaders. That's not stated, and I don't think it's intended, but that is the consequence of seminary formation, in my perhaps not so humble opinion. But who knows? I mean, maybe later today I'll find out that there were bishops all across Canada who went to the Million March for Children. I mean, we say that we are for the vulnerable, so this would be another good place, and especially, when it comes to interreligious cooperation. I've received some communication from some people I know asking me about recent comments from a man dressed in white, and maybe I'm not a good example, but my approach with the Vatican, and maybe this is terribly negligent on my part, but my approach with the Vatican for some time now is, for the sake of my sanity, I don't pay attention. So virtually all that I know about the most recent controversy regarding equivocating different religions is hearsay. I didn't go to get the quote. I didn't go to listen to speeches, see the bigger context. So my approach is simply I don't pay much attention to that. And when I say for my sanity and my mental and emotional health, and that's what I learned. That's what I learned with when I started learning about alcoholism. So there's, this or that person who had a drinking problem in my life, and it, you know, I was in a bad state. Not that I had a drinking problem, but others around me had. And one of the things I had to learn was don't pay attention. Don't pay attention to what they're saying. They're operating out of a sickness, so don't pay attention. So generally, I, I don't like listening to people who are incoherent. Eh? Well, this guy's blowing sand. He's cleaning the sidewalk. It's kind of noisy, but it's also blowing sand right into my eye. Anyway, okay. Boy. Seriously? Oh, we're right in front of the Prime Minister's office here. That's where we are. Even the pastor's sign. Anyway, it's quite evident that everyone has dispersed. The 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Was perhaps ambitious, that people would stay here all day. Well, there are some people up there. I will walk up, but these are some of Wellington regulars and the Freedom people, which is good. They're here all the time. So any tourists that come to Ottawa, they see the signs, if they want to talk to anyone. But yeah, from the live stream of Canadian Free Living, it looked like they were meeting right up there, right dead set in front of where I'm pointing the camera right now. And it didn't look like they, jam-packed the hill or anything. Okay, so anyway, but in terms of cooperating with people of other religions, hi there. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
coming. It's really cooperation with other human beings, right? It's that's a common human problem. But because Muslims seem to be more visible in trying to stand up for the innocence of the children, and some may say that's somewhat ironic, but Muslim people are not homogenous, and they come from many different cultures. And there's a YouTuber. David, is it David? Is it David? Is it David? David Creighton? Yeah, hi. I'll just say hi to you. Father Anthony Hannon is my name.
Father, thank you.
Yeah, well, I came later. I thought it was a little bit ambitious to go till that they were saying go to 6 p.m.
Yeah, I thought it was too, actually. Yeah. That's a long day when you're out.
I'm on live on YouTube, and I just want to say he has a YouTube channel. He's a professional reporter, and you do a lot of good work. Did you live stream?
No, I'm doing a broadcast when I get back.
Okay, good.
Right now. But,
good.
I have worked with conservative Roman Catholics over the years on pro-life issues.
Yes,
and
of course,
I always say nobody's doing more for the unborn than Roman Catholics, and I applaud you for that, because as an evangelical Christian, I'm constantly challenging my people to get out there and do something. that's against this slaughter.
Well, you know, in the freedom movement, that's kind of my message. I just did a little bit of a monologue here, wondering, you know, if how many priests were there. I figured there'd be a few priests here anyway, because I'm quite a drive to get in here. But the question is, has there been any bishops
Yeah.
all across Canada? Has any bishops? Because like in the freedom movement, it would be the rightful place for the bishops, I would think, to stand up against the lies and stand up for the little person.
Yeah.
But as I explained to people, is like the men who are chosen to be bishops like from the priesthood, they're responsible men, but they also work well in the status quo. They don't rock the boat because they see themselves as peacemakers.
Yeah.
Although often I say it's really placating.
I was a good friend of Bishop of Calgary when I was there, Fred Henry.
Of course, yeah.
He was so strong on these moral issues.
Yeah, he's still outspoken. David, would you mind taking your glasses off just so people can see your
yeah, sure.
your good eyes there? And because very good.
Well,
Do you just tell people what? I don't get that many viewers, but you might get a few.
oh well,
extra.
you can catch me on Creighton's Right is the channel name. The show is Stand on Guard. It's on every morning, 8:30 or 9. And I write for the Post Millennial, one of the new media out there, and I'm writing there every day, 7 days a week. So have a look and see what I'm doing.
So stand
on Guard.
Stand on Guard. That's the YouTube channel.
That's the that's the show.
That's the show.
The channel is Creighton's Right.
Creighton's Right. That's with a K.
Yeah.
KRAYDEN.
Apostrophe S.
Apostrophe S.
Yeah.
Right, like right wing. Yeah. Well, very good. Well, anyway, I do tune into you from time to time, and keep up the good work. Now, one of the veterans for freedom just got a conviction, just the other day. Veterans for Freedom, Ellery or something.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that. Not hard to do when you're covering 18 stories.
No, of course. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. Yeah.
There's a lot of people being quietly convicted now, and it's not getting the news value that it should.
Of course. Yeah.
And,
Well. Yeah, and you were in the mainstream media many years ago, were you not? Yeah.
I actually worked for CBC, and I was a token conservative writer at CBC.
Okay. Yeah.
But I spent most of my time with the Daily Caller, which is a new media out of Washington. They get promoted. That's what most people are watching. That's what I say when I mentioned it in one of my presentations earlier, is that the mainstream media doesn't realize that the crowd is gone, the audience is going rapidly. People are not watching CBC.
How would they not know that? They must know that.
They don't seem to. They don't, seem to look at the number because they keep talking like what I say is so important. Everybody's listening to me, and I am the one who makes these decisions. They don't realize, because if you look at, for instance,
I'm just going to switch over to my other hand.
If you look at the mainstream media's reaction to the Trump Kamala Harris debate, for instance, people are just saying wonderful things about Kamala Harris. She's just a brilliant woman. But when you go to social media and you see what people are saying on YouTube, they're all she was given the answers. There was favoritism. There was fact checking against Trump, not against Kamala Harris. She was just reciting talking points.
Do you think those earrings were?
Yeah, I do. I think
were electronic.
I think she was getting.
Yeah.
She looked like a woman who was chock full to the head with talking points, and she was just literally spewing them out as fast as she could, lest she forget what she was supposed to say.
Yeah.
And to me, yeah, I think Trump would win, but I think it might be the only good thing on the horizon.
Well, if Harris wins, I think they're rubbing in our noses that, see, we're in charge. We got the elections don't really count.
Well,
you know what I mean? That would be real cynical.
Once again, what did Harris appear to be most emotional about, most sincere about, was let's get more abortion. Let's have more women having abortions. Let's all be happy.
Absolutely terrible.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, I was out with some old friends last night, and they're not. I don't see them very much. They're good people. I respect them. I love them. But they're not paying attention to anything.
Yeah.
And I've been going around, and one of my last videos down in Kingston, I did it on live stream, but often whether I have a camera or not, I just ask people, hey, have you ever heard of these people? I'm just doing a survey for myself. And the first person I asked them is, have you ever heard of Jordan Peterson? Now, up until about 8 months ago, I thought Jordan Peterson is one of the most well-known Canadians, right up there with probably Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
And he could run. He's so articulate. He could run for prime minister. You know what, Dave?
Nobody
Most people don't. I've never heard of Jordan Peterson, or they say the name rings a bell. That's as close as they can.
knows.
Then I asked them if they've heard of Maxime Bernier. Or heard any. Sometimes they have a vague idea that was he an MP at some point.
Yeah.
They have very vague. So that's for the PPC. That's kind of a message. You need. They're not. People don't even know what the People's Party candidate is.
Right.
Then I asked them Jorge Bergoglio and Joseph Ratzinger, which is also known as Pope Francis or Pope Benedict XVI.
Yeah.
Then I asked them, what about Klaus Schwab? Hardly anyone has ever heard of Klaus Schwab.
Oh yeah.
Which again is kind of good news because it means the people who bought the narrative, they really didn't know. They don't know yet. So
Yeah.
maybe there's hope in some ways and I always get them to. And then I asked them, have you ever heard of Bill Gates? And everyone. Then I said, what do you think of him? Just an open-ended question.
Yeah.
And the odd time I run into someone who says, oh, he should be locked up forever. And then I shake their hand and say, very good, you're awake and they know what's going on. But most people are really oblivious. They're not paying attention. And you're going back to when you worked for CBC and whatnot, because you're always a political analyst, I suppose. You know, because we do kind of walk in our own echo chambers or whatever. Our circle of friends. Like I say, I was shocked when another old friend, he was talking and he said something. I said, that's like Jordan Peterson says. And he says, who's that? I couldn't believe it. This guy's a professional, a very smart guy, like stable, one of the smartest guys I knew growing up. Never heard of Jordan Peterson, right? So in terms of political astuteness or apathy or like, what do you think's going on, or what percentage of the population, they just don't pay attention? You have any idea? Or?
I think there's probably about 40% Canadians aren't paying attention to the news anymore.
Okay.
But I think the remaining 60% are largely watching social media, and that's made a huge difference. Meaning, mainstream media is probably being watched by about 20% of the population.
Yeah.
If that. And whereas when previous generations remember Walter Cronkite,
right,
speaking to literally 1 in 9 Americans. He was literally the vox populaire of the news. People would tune in just to say, okay, what's happening today?
Yeah.
It's just that phenomena is completely gone. Nobody doing
that. That's true. Yeah. Maybe you'll be the one. Maybe you'll be the one someday. But I don't want to keep you. But I mean, I have to talk to you all day if you want. But anyway, Father Anthony, and if you want to look up, a friend donated some money so I could make some cards, so I could just hand out my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But I don't have it made yet. It's called Two Preparers Way. Where I can.
Okay. Well, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I'll look it up, Father.
Anyway, very good to meet you.
Very good to meet you too.
Yeah.
Have a heck of a day.
Have a great day. Are you based in Ottawa?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm close to the crime scene.
Right. Well, I'm a priest with your Ottawa, Cornwall.
Yeah.
So I belong here. But what happened was I didn't like the way certain things were going, and it was being drawn on my heart some years ago. To more solitude, kind of like a hermit, although my dog was called diocesan priest.
Yeah.
But so 6 years ago, I asked my Archbishop. Well, 7 years ago, I talked to him, and so 6 years ago, he gave me the go-ahead to leave parish ministry and live in more solitude, just offer silent retreats and spiritual breakfast and house recounts. That's why I'm an hour 45. I'm down near Sherwood Lake area.
Oh, Sherwood Lake, yeah.
So it's but all during the freedom convoys and whatnot, and going right back to July 1st, 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were down here on that day, and it was a beautiful thing to see the Canadian flags, the Quebec flags, and the Indian. Yeah. And that was down when Norm, what was his name? He brought that document down to the U.S. Embassy that day. Anyway. the next year, in May, when the government and the mainstream media leaked the fake news of the 215 graves and made all their connections, I'm convinced that was because they didn't want a larger showing on July 1st. And then Parliament Hill, as you know, at the time, that was a very somber thing on July 1st, 2021. And then the Freedom People, we were all down in Supreme Court grounds, right?
Yeah.
And so many people bought that to find it something.
Oh yeah.
You know?
So much.
And anyway.
Okay.
So much. You got a lot of work to do.
I got to file a story. Yeah. And do a
So
broadcast.
do you go live on your broadcast?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier, right? That's why I'm live.
It's a lot easier, and you seem to get better numbers. Like I always find.
Okay.
It does increase the numbers.
I'm not consistent going on to my followers, so sorry about that, everybody. But I like to keep everyone guessing in terms of my schedule, but and where I am and stuff. But the live stream is just downloading the video takes too long.
Yeah.
Just better. Let's just go live.
Oh yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. Well, very good, Dave. Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you.
God bless.
Pleasure to meet you, Father.
God bless you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
There you go. Oh, okay. Curator. I like Curator. The Curator account. I rely on them a lot. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna. Okay. So up ahead in the kind of maroon suit, that is. Kamal. I think his name is Kamal Sharif, maybe. I think that's the leader of all of this, the organizer. So he's a Muslim who was, grew up in Ottawa, and he's a Canadian in terms of, he has friends who are from Ottawa, and he's not a radical Islamist or whatever. I know some people don't trust any Muslim or something, but every single person you see on this camera, right? Every single person we meet is loved by God, and wants the salvation of that person. So I'll go over and say hello to him. He may or may not remember me, but there you go. So anyway, it's nice grass here on Parliament Hill. It's been a dry summer. I don't know if they have sprinklers that come on or whatever, but they take good care of the grass, which is good. And I see someone over there with a Save Canada hat, so that's good. I'm not very good with names, I'm good with numbers, but not very good with names, so I forget people's names all the time.
Well, I say congratulations to you for eliminating the pride flags and putting the American flag, because levity is Muslim Americans, and I'm eliminating Muslim Canadians.
So,
Muslim Americans, you are without Americans, as it says in the Quran.
How are you? How did things go? Father Anthony. Nice to meet you.
Saskatchewan.
Oh, Saskatchewan. Did you come to Saskatchewan just for this?
Well, I'm one of the original truckers from Congo.
Oh,
I lost everything.
Did you say Brian? Are you Brian?
No, Nicholas.
Nicholas. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
from Saskatchewan.
Okay.
Yeah, I was here with the trucker convoy and I came back.
Beautiful. I'm live on YouTube. You want to show your face?
Of course.
Of course you are. Yeah. So I'm here with Nicholas, one of the truckers. So you never left Ottawa, or did you come?
No. I've been, so after Ottawa, I joined the Great Canadian Cruise. And I ended up going coast to coast and then coming back for Rolling Thunder.
Good.
And then right through KOA camp. I marched in Jamestown.
Oh yeah, good. Excellent. I walked a little bit and interviewed.
I've got quite the story. A news reporter actually reached out to me last night.
Oh, which where was it? CTV or something?
Oh, here, actually, I'll pull it up,
Yeah.
and you can just read it into the camera. If you don't mind.
Is it a video? It won't come out.
It's yeah. So her name is Lisa Joy. She was following me on social media. And she called me up. So, "Hey, Nicholas, I'd like to write a story about you." And I said, "I don't speak to mainstream media because all they do is lie." She says,
Right.
"No, she grew up in the same town." I said, "Okay." So I did an interview on the phone with her, and she called me a week later, and she sent me the link before she sent it. She says, "What do you think?" And I read it, and I got tears in my eyes, and I called her and said, "Thank you."
Okay.
And it went absolutely.
So where's she published out of? This is K Today?
sasktoday.ca.
Oh, sasktoday.ca. Is
Yeah.
that, so like Saskatchewan, SASK today.ca. Okay. So you want me to read it or you want to read it?
Yeah, and just
Okay.
keep scrolling like that. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So this is about this gentleman right here, written by her name is Joy.
Lisa Joy.
Lisa Joy. Okay, I'll try to hold the camera steady here. It says, "I'm a broken man." This is the byline here. Saskatchewan man who refused COVID jab, lost job and daughter. Nicholas Iwanchuk never did get his trucking job back, continues to struggle financially, and misses his daughter. And there's a picture there with you and your daughter. Your daughter's.
And
I don't know if it will come out in the, because you know the refresh rate
Yeah.
with videos. Eh?
there's a couple.
Oh, those are all the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
and there was my freedom cup.
Oh, beautiful.
So then, yeah, the story continues there.
Good. Hey, are you good at holding camera steady?
Sure. Try this one.
Because this is a rugged camera with, it's all metal, so
All right.
you just kind of keep it focused on the two of us, so to speak. Let's see, is this the best angle? Probably is. We're facing the sun. Why don't we turn around this way and
Oh, that's better.
something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, come this way because the sun's that way. That's good.
Okay, there we go.
A North Battleford man who was a truck driver for 23 years and refused to get the COVID-19 vaccine says he has lost everything, including his job and young daughter, because of his decision to exercise autonomy over his body. 2 years later, he hasn't got his trucking job back, struggles financially, and misses his daughter. Quote, I'm a completely broken man, he said. Now, as groups of protesters from across Canada return to Ottawa, he is considering joining them again. When was this written?
This was November of last year.
November 6, 2023. Okay, I'll just catch up here. He had joined the protesters, which was dubbed the Freedom Convoy, in January 2022, and was with the protesters when the Emergency Act was invoked. And quote again from Nicholas, when the time is right, I'm going to head back that way, he told sasktoday.ca in a phone interview. I'm just watching everything unfold. Iwanchuk said he had refused to get the COVID-19 vaccine because just before the COVID-19 pandemic was announced, he and his friends that he lived with in Lashburn had caught a nasty chest flu virus. Not one of us went and seen the doctor, he said, adding that they took vitamins, drank lots of water, got rest, and sweated out a couple of days. I'm going to maybe use a few euphemisms here or there just for the YouTube people. So after the scam was announced,
There we go.
a vaccine. Anyway, I could have watched
A bioweapon was soon made.
Yeah, and available. And he said that he questioned how fast the record breaking was released. Before this nonsense started happening, Iwanchuk had lived a relatively sheltered life, growing up on the farm and graduating high school in Mayfair alongside 11 other grads. He said he never really bothered with politics or social media. I never even knew about political parties and never paid attention to politics. That's like so many people. Right? When I left the farm, I started trucking in the oil field. I figured I paid too much taxes, but whatever. After such and such hits, he said he went down the rabbit hole looking for answers and evidence. He ended up having a disagreement with his ex-wife over whether or not their daughter should have this health intervention or medical intervention. chemical interaction. He said his wife made the decision to go ahead behind his back. That's terrible, and get their young daughter done. I threw my phone across the house and put a hole in the drywall. I was so upset. He said the cops showed up and charged me for uttering threats.
Didn't even ask me a question. Just threw the cuffs on.
That's we know the bias is so biased nowadays against. He added that previously he and his ex-wife had a good co-parenting relationship, but the war against humanity destroyed all that. It came to a screeching halt. He admits that in the heat of the moment, he said things to his ex-wife, which caused him to be charged. He eventually accepted a plea deal. He's on probation till the end of November.
That was last November.
So you're done.
I'm afraid not.
You're done.
But
Good.
it gets worse.
Iwanchuk also admits to being arrested for harassment of Premier Scott Moe and his family. He said that he had gone to the Premier's home in April 2022 and had the door slammed in his face. I left a note with my full name, address, phone number, email, and social media. 6 months later, I was charged with harassment. He said he had wanted to talk to the Premier man to man, heart to heart, about issues facing the province during COVID-19, during the thing. Iwanchuk said that the thing had opened his eyes to what he had called corruption within the system, so he had joined the Truckers' Freedom Convoy in Ottawa in January 2022, but not driving his truck. I jumped on with the convoy in my beat-up car and the $200 I had left to my name. He said, adding this all he had left because he wouldn't comply with this crap. That's the story.
That's the story.
Well, very good, Nicholas. Congratulations on getting that out.
Thank you.
And
you know what's really sad is because of this whole system, there never was a restriction between me and my daughter from yelling at my ex on the phone.
right.
She denied every third party, including Child Protective Services, because Child Protective Services were court ordered to help me out. Yeah. To this day, right now, I've still not heard from my daughter.
Well, how old is your daughter?
She's going to be 14 on the 30th.
Well,
This happened when she was 11.
Well, you know, I noticed you have a cross on your, and you know,
Oh, yeah.
I'm a priest, so you know, I see things through the spiritual lens, and if I may, one way of looking at it is that you're sharing in the sufferings of Christ.
Yeah.
Because, as St. Paul says, because in your own personal life, you're experiencing unrequited love, and you love your daughter so much, and you know Jesus loves everyone, and your daughter and you and everyone,
Yeah.
even more than we can love anyone. Yet he, our Lord, he is ignored. His name is maligned, used as an expletive, and often people don't even think of him, and all sorts of people try to keep him away from him.
Yeah, I've had some
So-
very powerful experiences with that.
So your heart, right? This is, you know, in the Catholic Church. Are you Catholic by any chance?
Ukrainian Greek Orthodox.
Okay. So in the Catholic Church, we have a devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and the litany, and Lord, make my heart like unto thine. And as a Christian, you know, that's our prayer, right? Lord, make the Holy Communion, right, with Him. The two become one, right? And that's this pain in your life. He knows it.
Oh, yeah.
You know he knows.
Oh,
that. I'm not preaching
you
it.
know.
I'm not preaching you. I know you know it. But this is an intimacy in the strange, weird things, you know, kind of like the paradox of the crucifixion. This pain in your life is allowing you to go deeper into his heart.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So Nicholas,
Okay, thank you for that.
God bless you, man.
So could I get your signature on that flag?
Oh, sure you can. Of course you can. I'd be
Oh.
happy to.
Okay.
I'll hold that camera.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can we'll just point the camera this way.
What color you want, red or black?
What do you want? It's your flag. I'll put whatever. Is this all the way from the truckers?
It's,
It's been back and forth.
yeah, and it's gonna do something significant next
I'll
week.
talk to you later after.
Okay.
I think red for blood of
Okay.
Christ.
Yeah,
That's what I
sure.
was thinking.
Yeah, sure. And
Whatever you want to write on there.
yeah, exactly. How do you spell your name with a K? Is that how you spell it? How do you spell your Nicholas?
Nicholas.
Okay. Okay. AS?
Yeah,
AUS?
AS.
What were your marks like? A plus? Depends on the subject. Okay, so social is a minute for us.
Thank you. So, I'm going to tell you something.
Social doesn't mean
After the convoy, I went out to the West Coast with the Great Canadian Cruise in that car, and then came back to Ottawa for the bikers, for veterans, Rolling Thunder,
yeah.
Neil and all them.
Yeah.
And that was in April 2022.
Yep.
Okay. Then I stayed around Ontario in a Freedom car, and May 20th, 2022.
Yep.
I was out Wayne Fleet, out on a farm there. Her name is Sophia. If you Google boxer dogs, her name pops up right away.
Okay.
And May 20th at about 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
because she had me staying in her cottage there that she had, and instead of sleeping in the car. And I had to go take a pee at about 1 in the morning.
That's okay.
So I went outside and I didn't even have underwear on. I was completely buck naked, and I was standing there beside the bumper of my car. And her yard is surrounded by great big old spruce trees. And in the southwest corner, she's got a steel flagpole. I always forget her country. Her country's flag was there, and then Canada flag. And I was looking at that, taking a pee, and there was two bright stars that were close together above that flag, and I was looking at those stars, and all of a sudden this cloud, and I was the judge, all of a sudden this cloud would come in, and it went like this, it went, and it stopped right there,
Okay.
and those eyes, it was his face,
Oh,
the
beautiful.
crown,
Oh,
the
beautiful.
beard, and
Oh.
everything.
Wasn't that beautiful?
And
So you had a mystical experience
I
for
couldn't
Lord.
believe what I was
Yeah,
seeing,
yeah.
and all of a sudden it took off, and I was like, I don't have a phone to take a camera because I'm naked, and all of a sudden it came in again.
Well.
It was the same thing, and then it took off, and then it came in a third time, and he smiled at me the third
Oh,
time.
well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. Nicholas, pleasure to meet you. All the best. We'll see each other again. Please God.
My colorful band is actually Mark.
Oh.
Can't miss it.
Oh, great.
Hey there, sir.
How you doing, bro?
Can I get a signature on this
Yes,
flag?
sir. Of course.
How are you?
I
Good,
got,
thank you. Father Anthony. We met before.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I come to various things. Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
like a gentle Italian.
Something like that, yeah. With my Father Anthony Hannon, yeah.
Oh,
What's your name?
yeah, I do remember you.
Yeah, you got me in the
Howard.
company. Howard, yeah. He's got the Save Canada hat, which is a great hat. That's the brainchild of Alexander, Josh Alexander, yeah. My mind's not very good. This flag is crazy.
Okay, it must be the hot sun.
Something like that's what we'll blame it on.
So do you,
Well, I don't know, getting older. It's not dementia though, because I know I forget.
well, I'm starting.
What do you want to? What do you want? I'm live on YouTube, channel, but not many people. Only 3 people in total. A video like this might get 300 people. I don't have a huge following. But anything you want to say? Hello, is this? Yeah.
Welcome to the hills.
Good. How was the day? How was the day? I just got up there.
Oh, it was long days, busy.
Yeah.
Not as big a crowd
Yeah.
as expected, but you know,
Some good
over
speeches.
time, including mine.
Did you speak too?
Yeah.
Well, I was watching Canadian Free Living is a YouTube channel that
Yeah,
was live
I'm
streaming.
familiar. I think I subscribed.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at the speeches later because the one thing I really liked was the sound quality was very good. You could hear all the speeches really well, and what I did hear was very good. You know, like sometimes during the freedom movement, some of the rallies they just gave the mic to anybody, and then they start dropping the F-bomb and everything. It's
Oh,
like,
you noticed?
no, of course you can't help it, right? And it's like, are they? They should have a kill button and tell people, look, no F bombs. We're trying to reach out to everybody.
They're not very accommodating on that front. Just saying. Freedom is freedom.
Oh, I agree. No, I get it, but still, you know, I mean, that's what I explained on my YouTube. I said, look, most Canadians, that's just the way they talk. So just, you know,
But not me.
maybe not most Canadians, but a lot of Canadians, that's the way they talk.
Never.
Good. I'm glad, and I'm very glad to hear that. Howard? No, it's not necessary, but it's kind of a sign of it's actually, and given the theme of today, it's actually a sign of our poor education system because people use the F-bomb
Yeah.
as an expletive because they don't have the vocabulary to actually
Can't
communicate.
articulate.
They can articulate.
And they're a bit unedged.
No, the emotion. You gotta get a grip on the emotion.
And it's almost 1,000 days, believe it or not, since it's become 1,000 days
Since since the truckers' combo, yeah.
I think there's even longer people was worldwide rallies
Yeah, me too.
before the Conroe came.
Yeah, me too. I remember that was not the first attempt at a truckers' convoy,
Yeah.
right? There was other attempts. Well, no, there was that, but there was attempts against the lockdowns for Ottawa, and now again my mind is failing me in terms of those. No, not the dates, but who was trying to organizing that? But no, I was here. I guess. Well, when campaign. Are you from Ottawa yourself?
Yeah.
So when
Born and raised.
so you know about the National March for Life every year.
I was there.
So
March for Jesus too.
yeah, so in 2020, Campaign Life Coalition decided to cancel the March for Life, and so I said I'm coming down here and doing my own because I'm not going to give the demons the satisfaction.
Yeah.
And no, there was, and I found out there was others who went a slightly different timing as me as well, but it wasn't that visible. But the Lord knows, you know, and but. So I was here July 1st. You're probably here July 1st, 2020.
So standing right in the middle.
Right.
My signs.
And wasn't that a beautiful day with the Canadian flags, the Quebec flags, and the Indian flags? That was amazing. And that was with Norm. What was his name?
Traversy.
Norm Traversy. Exactly.
Traverse.
And delivered. We walked out to the U.S. Embassy there. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're there. So, and then you remember the next year in May, the media and the government, they released the fake news about 215 graves in Kelowna and stuff like that. And I believe that was strategy, not only against the Catholic Church and Christianity in general, but also against, also so that they would thwart what would have been an even a more amazing rally on July 1st on Parliament Hill in 2021. So we, as you know, we went down to the Supreme Court, but on Parliament Hill was very somber
With the Aboriginal.
with the Indians. Yeah. And
I was at both.
yeah, both. Yeah. But anyway, you and I see that's how big it is that we were at the same rallies, probably at many same rallies
Small world.
over the years, but right during that period. But you know, this is the first time we're having a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
With our names, right?
Yeah.
So
Within
more than hello. Yeah. So that's excellent. This is on to you too, Howard. Yeah. I'll say hello to it's Camille. Sharice? No. Oh, she's yes. I'm not very good with. You were born and raised in Ottawa yourself? Me too. Small world. Oh, Laurentian High School. Oh, okay, yeah, right on base. Well, it depends how much younger you are than I am, but I had a friend who was a teacher there. I don't know if I know any former students there besides you now, but I went to SRB. But I graduated in '81. 13. When did you graduate? Okay, so you're a couple years older. I'll respect you a little bit more than my elder. Yeah. So anyway, on the live streams, people come and go. There's three people watching right now.
Beautiful.
It is a beautiful day. Not too hot.
September was beautiful.
Yeah. They keep it. They do a good job on the grass, eh?
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not protesting.
Holy crap!
But I mean, it's amazing how good shape the grass is in. How do they do it? Are they bringing in sod or something? Or?
They bring in a lot of taxpayer money.
I know.
There you go.
I know.
They quaff it.
What a way. Hey, well, one of the things I'm reminding people is, the government doesn't care about you, and you want something, and it is a big hoax. And how do we know?
What's up?
Well, there was no plague.
How COVID?
There was no plague, and anyone who has any doubts, look at all the billions and billions of dollars they threw around, and how many hospitals in Canada did they build for our health? None.
But it's,
None.
I know, and it's probably one of the worst healthcare systems.
It
It's
is.
not free.
It is. I was just talking to someone from India, and he said, "Oh, in India, no, there's no wait. Yeah, you pay it. You can go and pay. You've got government stuff, but you can go and pay." And he talked about someone who broke his arm, needed surgery, needed like everything stapled together, and within a week he had it, and it was $1,000 Canadian. It's good. And another friend, he's down in Ecuador, and he just got a cavity filled, $30.
Yeah. I hear that.
It would be worth it to get on the plane and go to Ecuador. You know,
I think people do that.
I think they do it. See, people
Mexico.
who know better. Yeah.
And get ivermectin or something.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's great. Thanks for talking. Yeah. I'll say hi to these. Well, it's just I don't do. I need to.
Subscribe.
Yeah,
And like.
they're already subscribed. They're already subscribed.
Share.
They're already share. I guess. Yeah. Well, yeah. No. That's awesome, Howard. I'll say hi to Vinny here and stuff.
Man, but she wants to take note.
Yeah, that's fine. Bring whoever you like.
Hey, Vinny, how you doing, man?
Okay, how you doing?
You remember me, Father Anthony?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
You from the Companions of the Cross?
No, I'm a Dawson, Pierce of Ottawa, but I live like a hermit. I retreat. Yeah.
The Companions of the Cross would like you.
This is Vinny. Yeah, I know a lot of them.
Yeah.
I was at St. Mary's when Companions across the forum.
You hear what he's talking about? Ecumenical stuff.
Ecumenical.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Vinny,
I like
Vinny. What do you want? I'm just have a few viewers. So it's not like a lot to me. But what is it? VMT or something?
No, VNA.
VNA YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm all Fox News. Well, not Fox News, the precursor to Fox, WKVD, the old Gordon program. You might be able to
Did you used to be in broadcasting? Is that why you're doing
Yeah.
all
Well, my mother did, and as a little boy, I was 8 years old in the Detroit riots. Helping her film and everything. That was real time. It's not this stuff that happened here. We had named battle tanks in the middle of the street going down buildings to get 2 snipers. It's so much different.
Oh, in Detroit.
Yeah, we need peace and love. That's what we need.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
God is the
and
way.
and the
I've
powers.
been going to Masonic church actually. Charles is not Masonic, Messiah, but whatever you call it, Messiah Jews.
Oh, okay, yeah, Messianic.
They believe in Jesus. But I'm doing that for the Old Testament grasp on things. They're very good at the Old Testament, the Jews.
Well, one of the things I remind viewers, I'll be doing a YouTube on it, just so that people don't get lost from the Bible. Remember that all the Old Testament, it's a family saga, right? There's a lot of genres in there, but everything, all the prophecies were pointed to Jesus. There's
And
all
when Jesus
preparation.
come and he said, I have not come to abolish the law, but to fill it to make it easier to do for people instead of all those crazy rules too. That's the way I grab it.
Well, it's easy to get off the track, right?
Yeah, it's easy when
It's easy to
you're
get off the
following
track.
the law, it's easy
But
to get off the track.
well, but everything was pointing to him.
Yeah.
So don't like some people make the mistake of taking an Old Testament verse, and it is the living Word of God, of course. So in our own personal prayer life, the Lord, the Holy Spirit, can speak to us individually through any word in any book of the Bible.
He can
But
guide us like he did Joan of Arc,
but remember that the primary prophecies was fulfilled already in Jesus Christ. He wasn't talking about, what's going on in the Middle East now, or what's going on in Ottawa, Canada, or wherever.
Revelations talk a little bit about that, though.
Well,
Because
and
I believe the minions of Satan are out and about.
well, the fallen angels are definitely after us, but compared to God, the devil's power is like a mosquito.
I gotta go, Father, because my
Vinny?
cart's out there. If you
God
don't
bless.
mind.
God bless
Yeah,
you.
God
man.
bless you.
Okay, man.
Vaya con Dios.
Take care, man. Anyway. What I was going to finish saying there for your benefit is when we're reading the New Testament, we need to remember that there are certain contexts, and the biggest controversy in the very early church was the Jewish Gentile believers, right? Jewish believers and Gentile believers in Christ. And if you keep that in mind when you read the New Testament, Paul's letters, then you won't get lost and go down all sorts of tangents, adventures, and missing the point. So I'll go over and say hello to this guy, and then probably have been on long enough. An hour, so it's about what, at 3:05 now. I don't know if anyone's left any. Oh, okay. So there's been a couple. John says, unfortunately, the public union organized counter protests today. Okay, well, we know that. Taxpayer money protesting. And then Dana says, so sorry to have missed saying hello to you today. Well, I didn't get here when everyone else was here. I didn't really. I mean, they did say it was going to be till 6 p.m. and obviously, it was a little ambitious for them to plan like that. But I'm really not into like the kind of demanding the government to change. They're not going to change. They're demanding the schools to change. They're not going to change. Like I said in the intro of this live stream, the only solution is for parents to stop sending their kids to those schools. And why would it's kind of like during the lockdowns, and I went into this one place to just inquire about what it would cost to get my truck sprayed underneath the oil sprayed, and what would with my vehicle and year, what would they recommend? And it was one of these places where it was a real mask Nazi place, and so he wouldn't serve me. He wouldn't serve me behind glass, plexiglass, and everything. Wouldn't serve me unless I put the outward sign of submission on. So, I don't want that guy. Imagine if I could force him to, I took him to court or said this is discrimination and kind of, or called his boss or whatever, called the owner of the company because it's a franchise thing, and kind of forced him to do work on my truck. I wouldn't want him to do work on my truck, given that we've had that. So why would you send your children to these schools when we know that they're going to be feeding your kids these things? So anyway, I just want to talk to the organizer here, Camille, because I just want to ask him um, if there are many religious representatives here. And specifically, I want to know if there's any priests said hello to him or anything like that. And I guess I can ask him if he tried reaching out to the Archbishop or not. You know, or and also like all the religious leaders in Ottawa, right? You know, the Anglican as well and everything like that. Yeah. So anyway, they're just chatting there, so I don't want to interrupt because I'm a good Canadian and we give people space, you know. So it was a nice little conversation with David Creighton. So earlier. So now, right now, there's 0 viewers. So I obviously don't have much holding power today in the live stream. So I'll sign off soon. I may go back on again with a particular topic and a shorter video, but it might be interesting to see Camille El Sheikh. It'd be interesting to see. Maybe you'd be interested in knowing if there was religious leaders there. I know there was Henry Hildebrand, came all the way from Elmer, Ontario, which is down in southern Ontario. But anyway, we got 3 people back. That's nice. So anyway, at least it's a nice day. When I left this morning, it was overcast. I think it was just fog lifting though. So I went back and got my rain jacket and everything. Okay, I'm gonna just go back there. Camille, it's been a long day for you. You may or may not
I remember you from last time.
Oh,
you were
you
doing
do?
a prayer for me.
Father Anthony.
Yes.
Yeah.
How you doing, Father Anthony?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. So not as big a crowd, I guess.
Not in Ottawa. I haven't checked other cities. Montreal is looking good.
Yeah. I'm live on YouTube just so that we watch whatever.
Hey,
you want to say.
how's everybody doing?
Camille El Sheikh.
El Sheikh, that's correct.
Sheikh?
Yes.
And
so thank you. You're coming out here to support us again for a second.
Yeah, always, you know. But I mean, the real solution is parents to stop sending their kids to these schools, and then the system will be like they got to lay off people because they don't get.
We got many ways to getting to these solutions.
Okay,
well,
good.
We got many ways to do that. One is today you're not supposed to send them to school, so we are being suppressed.
Yeah.
You know this very well, right?
Yeah,
so
shadow
ban, suppressed. And so some people were told the mosque, it's canceled. So I had to send a message in Arabic last night at midnight. Yeah. And so I had to send an emergency message. And then there was, the Christian groups. I had Pastor Henry Hildebrand's delegation telling me, Camille, they're telling you, there's terrorist sympathizers, all that kind of stuff. So they're scaring people, right? So they're doing this on both sides. And what we're telling people is, you know what? It's every September 20th. Just make sure you're here at 8 o'clock. Okay, this is an annual affirmation event. We have My Child June, right? Yeah. Do you have a business card? Maybe I'll reach out to you offline.
No, I don't. All I've got is my parking card.
Okay, so here's maybe I'll write.
Give me something. Yeah, go ahead. You can chat another time.
I'll write my number on that card.
Well, that's not a good thing to write on because.
Oh, actually, I might have a card. Give me a sec.
Because that's going to go back into the machine, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to lose it.
Oh, those are VIP passes.
What
are you doing tonight? 7:30.
Well, I'm probably going back home. Why? What do you have? You got a dinner or something?
On the house, just a $5 cover. It's an appreciation luncheon. Okay. What's it called? I can put my number on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Put.
And just keep that with
me. Keep that with me because you're not.
So just say Pastor.
I
forgot what your name
Father
is.
Anthony.
I'll do it. Okay, just text me your full name. Maybe I'll add you to my interface.
Yeah,
information,
yeah.
okay?
Now, that was the question I had. I knew as I was watching Canadian Free Living as a YouTube channel that was live streaming it.
Yeah.
And I was really, so as I was driving in, I was listening to the speeches and as much as I could, but then I got a phone call, so I couldn't hear, I just turned the volume down. But I was really happy to hear the sound quality was very good on the speeches. They were good. And then I did see Henry Hildebrand. Were there any other religious representatives who came?
There were leaders of mosques and stuff like that. Ones that work with sheiks. You got to remember, mosques
It'll switch over
have
to
been
cancer.
having a challenge since September 11th. You can't get clergy to the country because his name is Muhammad, and every Muhammad is, oh, that's a terrorist sympathizer and all that kind of stuff. So there's immigration issues, and we got limited sheiks in our mosques. So
Oh, you
that's something. Yeah, that's something we need to fix.
That's what they're called, sheep?
Sheiks,
what if-
imams, sheiks. You can, yeah.
Imam, that's your teachers, or what?
Yeah,
what is
imams.
the- Because they don't have priests, but they would be the religious leaders? Or?
Yeah, that would be your equivalent of priests, pastors.
Pa-
Sheiks, imams.
Yeah, okay. So have you had any success with the Archbishop of the Catholic Archbishop of Ottawa?
We're working on
or
those.
the Anglican Archbishop?
I'm following up with the Orthodox Archbishop. I have a Maronite one. There's a few of them. I still need time.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
have to obviously look at it, pray on it, and that kind of thing. So that stuff takes time, and we're going to need your help because that's your domain. So
Yeah,
reach out to me.
I can give you the how things actually work. People have ideas of how things work, but and that's but even practicing Catholics, they have certain expectations of the bishops and the priests to be leaders. But the reality is that I say it on my YouTube all the time, is from day one when we go into the seminary, what we're actually trained to be is followers.
Yeah.
Good consensus, politically correct,
True.
all that. Instead of, like, I don't remember one course in the seminary of how to be a leader. And I've asked people in the military, did you ever have any leadership courses? Oh yeah, we had lots of them. No, we never did. It was always about, we get educated in theology and church history and things like this, but we're not taught this is how to lead people. It's all about talk to all the people. They know more than you do, as even been said, and listen to them and do what they want, which is totally codependent in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I'm a CEO by nature, so
Okay.
we're always constantly building things and hoping to inspire. CEOs, what we do is we always think of ways to solve things. That's what we do.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Sorry, I just needed to get Chris Dacey. Chris
You
Dacey,
go do what you need to.
Chris Dacey, did you get your VIP pass, man? What's that?
Chris.
Did you get your VIP pass? You got one?
Yeah. Anyway. Well, anyway, I don't want to keep you or
I'm
anything
so
like
sorry.
that. No, nothing to apologize. You're tired. You're here since the morning.
We still have a party to go to. Come.
Yeah, no, that's
come to
awesome.
the party. We'll see.
If I'm around in Ottawa, because I'm a couple hour drive away.
Yeah, it's at Bayview.
Yeah, I know where. I know where it is. Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry.
Oh, you could. Okay,
What's
so
it?
we need. I'm gonna drive Howard back home,
Oh, wait a second.
and what's it called?
Got it.
We have signs and things to lug. So I don't know what the process is. Maybe we can bring a vehicle up or something, or maybe
Okay,
we'll
I'm
carry
gonna
everything.
sign off.
Come help us.
The Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless you. The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace. Live in the truth. Live free.